Hi everyone, welcome to GoLocal Live. I'm GoLocal News Editor Kate Nagel. Thanks for joining us this Tuesday afternoon. I'd like to welcome in my first guest, the Reverend Jean, is the community minister at the First Unitarian Church. Reverend Jean, thank you for coming in today.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Well, I appreciate it because we're on the eve of a rally tomorrow. The Religious Coalition for Reproductive Freedom will be gathering now at 2 p.m. in the Rhode Island State House with stakeholders across a spectrum of religious affiliations coming together to support reproductive freedom for women. And you're a co-chair of this coalition. So talk with us a little bit about how you got involved.
Well, I'm one of a number of ministers and religious leaders who've stepped forward to be able to make a statement because we believe that women should have the right to choose, following their conscience, following their religious tradition, to make choices about pregnancy and childcare and childbearing. So that was important to us. I'm actually thrilled to have been put in the position to be a co-chair because they're a great group of people to work with. It's a multi-interfaith group, and we sort of represent the variety of religious voices in Rhode Island, which is kind of neat.
And clearly a big debate taking place at the State House this year as well. On one side, you have folks who are looking to codify Roe v. Wade, make sure that protections are in place. And then the other side, there are other religious factions as well that are very clearly anti-abortion, anti-choice. How do you interact with those other religions that have, their own vantage point on the issue?
With as much civility as I can manage. Which I think is important, because the fact is that there isn't just one religious group in Rhode Island. There are several. And by virtue of the fact there are several, we don't agree on everything. So we are going to see things a little differently. And a lot of these issues like this, abortion, is a very, very sensitive issue. And so, there are passions are high on both sides. But I think it's important that we have a dialogue with an understanding that it is tolerance and civility that we need.
And tomorrow, a number, again, of leaders in the religious community and others will be taking part in this event at the State House at 2 p.m. How do you envision this event taking place?
Well, we have several several people from the religious community who are going to make a statement, and from their perspective. Our hope is that the legislators will be listening, and that whoever else may be around will be able to listen and to hear. I don't want to say our side of the story, but our position on this.
And so let's go back again to that issue of civility and tolerance. Obviously, passions are heated right now on this issue and others. I mean, what do you tell people both at the First Unitarian Church and other denominations, again, when these really heated issues come up?
And they do. When people are angry, if they talk it through at home, talk it through in the church, talk it through with your pastor, and so that when we end up in a public forum where we're talking with people who we disagree with, that we're better able to handle it and deal with it. I think this is Rhode Island. We were founded on the idea of tolerance, and that's a challenge. And tolerance can't be legislated. It has to be here. We have to decide to be civil. We have to decide to be tolerant. And it's difficult when someone takes a position that you find very different and shocking. But that's a challenge.
Well, I appreciate your coming on behalf of the Religious Coalition for Reproductive Freedom. Is there anything else, Reverend, you'd like to share with viewers about the issue and about the event tomorrow before it takes place?
Well, I would certainly invite everybody to come. And I think that we are religious leaders who are wanting to make what we believe to be a vital point, and that is that we respect the moral agency of women, that it is important that women who are making a decision have an opportunity to talk this through with their religious leaders, to see the pastor, to be able to make their own decision and follow their own conscience, because conscience is our connection with God, and no one should be interfering in that space. And so that's what we're really in favor of.
Well, I appreciate your taking the time to come down here, and I know a busy day for you. Again, ahead of the event at the State House tomorrow at 2 p.m. We'll provide links to that as well. But Reverend Gene with the First Unitarian Church, I really appreciate you taking the time to come in.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And we're going to be right back with another political issue here in the state on GoLocal Live, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.